Hi everyone, my name is Ana Vargas and
Fiorella Pavon.
I'm from the class is 95B12.
And today we are going to the interview English teachers. Join us. What inspired you to become an English teacher and what motivated you to first start?
Okay, deep. It's a deep question, but my personal case was the use of English, especially, was like very simple for me since the high school, and through the next years when I was trying to decide what kind of major to study, probably get as pedagogy or psychology, but I realized that English was like a good alternative to become a teacher, specific about English. And the second as piece of advice, probably you have to get your aim or your goal in terms of what do you need about the language. In this case, if you need to practice English just for fun, probably you have to focus all your attention on movies or music or something bad. Nowadays, it's well known that having a good English level opens a lot of opportunities in terms of studies, job, and future things. So my piece of advice: try to focus all your interests in your personal things and try to learn from the beginning through the rest of the levels.
Okay, the second question is what aspects of teaching English bring you the most satisfaction and why?
Good. So at this point of my professional life, probably the best is how most of the students get realized in the end of levels that how important English could be in the professional and studies and probably how they at the end discover how interesting could be when you have a good knowledge or you can develop your skills at the end and how at probably at the end of the levels they said it was a tough and hard path but now I can use the language I can speak, and that's the satisfactory point as teacher to get us after being quite difficult situations. At the end, they said, "Okay, was hard, bad. Now we can do it." Yeah, this is the thing.
Okay, how many years have you been teaching English and how has your experience feel involved?
So about the time, probably I've been teaching English around 13 years, around 13 years. So in terms of my experience, honestly, it depends. First, the first bachelor I get on my bachelor degree, and then my master's degree, and some other requirements as the job for the university needs as certification, international certifications, and some different course about teaching, developing, and yes, a lot of things that we as teachers need to have to continue preparing. There it is.
In your opinion, what is the most challenge or aspect teaching English?
A challenge, probably the most is like the motivation. Try to be the best actor in the class to motivate students to learn the language is quite complicated because it is well known that English is not your favorite subject and this is the best challenge to engage the attention of the students during the class and the contents. This is the most difficult for me.
Okay, during classes, do you prefer any method for teaching students?
Definitely, yeah. As teachers, we have different methods, and my probably let me think. My main could be trying to give that engagement by the preferences from the students, like real life situations, movies, music, and something that is part of the content of the book, but also try to get the attention from your personal interest because it's difficult. Yeah, but this is my methodology. Try to involve in the class with the real life situations.
Okay, the last question is, do you have any advice for students?
Yes, of course. My advice could be please try to get motivated using any kind of content. Feel free to ask during classes. Try to look at on now on internet, and with the technology we have a lot of things to do, and tools like the same free courses on YouTube, or use the same ChatGPT that now is very popular. We have a lot of information there that you can use for preparing yourselves and to keep motivating and having a specific plan according to your level. In other words, try to use technology as you can, not just for cheating or copying your exams or something or homework. Just in other words, try to use it by the good points, like prepare and be motivating. Like, it's not just for the score and the grades at the end of the level. Try to prepare for yourselves, because later you will discover that if you have a good English level, you will have the chance to grow in your studies, on job. It's a very good opportunity when you say, I can speak English, really? That's the good point to give us advice to you. Please try to keep motivating, use as many tools as you can. And go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
For what your name and age?
My name is Roberto Vaca. I'm like 42, I guess, or 3. Tomorrow is my birthday, I don't really remember. Well, but that is like 41 or 2.
Second question, what is your favorite hobbies or activities to do in spare time, free time?
The things I have done in this case is going fishing, camping, jogging. I have played volleyball. I like football also, but I have no team to play with. However, the things that I like doing and I enjoy doing is the best, that is fixing things. For example, electronic devices that are not useful anymore. I usually try to put it into pieces and see how it works, or try to fix them somehow.
What do you have a daily routine in the morning?
A daily routine? Well, I have class here at 7, so I usually wake up at maximum 6, and then I take a shower, iron my clothes, right? And then I go to have breakfast, and then I come to university.
What do you consider your greatest achievement?
My greatest achievement so far, talking about educational purposes, it's been getting my master's degree. Another one is to have a good family, a nice family, and having a good job position at work.
What motivated you to study English?
My main motivation was the needs of communication. It was because in my town where I used to live, there were foreigners who came and didn't know how to communicate with other people in English, And since then I thought on a way in which I could help those type of people. And I wanted to be a translator at first, but then I made up my mind and I started to be a teacher. That's why I'm a teacher.
What consider what methods or resource consider you that important for listening English independently?
methods
Sí,
for learning or for teaching?
For learning.
Oh, I consider my advice for people who want to practice their listening skills for learning is to try to be involved, surrounded by the language. The more you hear it, the more you listen to it, the better your brain is going to recognize what to say. I usually call this register. You know, your brain starts recognizing that register of the pronunciation of words in English and the association of those sounds to the way how they are written. That is why I consider it would be a good idea for people to have a listening track, for example, with the script of it. So you can listen and read at the same time, so you can practice these both things. The sound with the word itself. And so you are having this register in your mind so that when you hear those words again, you will clearly understand what it says. And also I could say that through music, podcasts, series in English, all type of things, all sort of things that you could be surrounded by would be the greatest. Because little by little, your brain is going to modify its thoughts, not to just think in Spanish. Because when you want to say something, you usually say things in Spanish, so then you translate that into English, right? But in this case, that is something that has to do with your thinking in English form. So you are going to be used to it so that your brain is going to start thinking in English more than in Spanish. When you want to say something immediately, you say that in English. You wouldn't have to translate this into Spanish again. You know, so that is the appropriacy of the language, depending on how you motivate to learning it.
Do you have a phrase that motivated or helps you in moments?
Yeah, it says just keep on going. Just keep on going.
Why?
Because if you start or you stop to think about that, you know, you're probably wasting your time, right? So you just have to reflect on the things that you have to do, be practical as possible, and keep on going, right?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, welcome.